Welcome to week 2 of the Judge Less movement. So this week we're going to focus on judging our loved ones less. We started last week with learning and reminding ourselves that nothing can thrive in a harsh environment, that we are the ruler of our land. We take responsibility for what kind of goes on in that land, how it's ruled, and how it feels to live in that land. So this week we're going to extend that a little bit, and we're going to start taking responsibility for the kind of things that we throw into other people's environments and into their land. The kind of, not just the physical, we're all aware of what we give to people physically. I want you to start being really aware of what we give to people energetically, because remember, there's a big energetic kind of pot of energy. There's this massive energy swirling around us, through us, in between us all. It connects us all. And I don't just affect somebody, I don't just give them things when I physically give them something. Forgive my voice, it's kind of been coming and going a little bit. I don't just give them things physically, I also give them things energetically. I send them their way with my thoughts, with visions that I have about them, with things I say to other people about them. I'm kind of sending all that their way. And so because we're focusing on being aware of judgment and the effect that judgment has, how heavy and harsh judgment is, how it keeps things stuck, it keeps us stuck, but in a sense, by judging others, and we're just going to focus on loved ones this week because we'll start extending it out a little bit, but it's easier to go, okay, let me think this week about myself, of course, because we're never going to leave ourselves, because we can't give something we don't have. And let me extend that to people I love, friends, family, just people that you love. And then next week we'll extend that to kind of the other, in the sense of more just people in general, people we don't know. So we're taking responsibility for what it feels like to be here, what we program in, how we're willing to rule. We're going to start taking responsibility for what we send to other people. This isn't about what responsibility they take in receiving. This is about just us taking responsibility for what we put into the energy that exists between us and somebody else. So maybe rather than thinking of a whole collective energetic pot in the whole world, whole planet, start to think that there is an energetic pot between you and each person that you love. And start to be conscious with what you put into that pot, what you fill that pot with, your thoughts about them, your beliefs about them, not just how you speak to them or what you physically give to them, but energetically what you give to them. And start to realize that, now I know that everybody listening to this video, your intentions are good in what you want your loved ones to know and to feel. Your intentions are good, but I'm pretty sure that along with myself, and I would say most likely 99.9% of the population, you are at one time or another misguided in how you communicate what you want that person to know. So let's be conscious in how we communicate every aspect of ourselves with that person in relation to them. So we're going to start imagining that there is an energetic swirl, pot, space, whatever works for you, between us and that person. And that each time we judge them, we're putting a brick in there. We're putting something heavy in there. We're putting something in there that could potentially keep them stuck. That could potentially even just keep them stuck in our experience with them. When we say things like they never, They always, oh, she won't ever stop doing that. She's been talking about leaving that job forever. She'll never leave that job. She's been talking about leaving that boyfriend, partner, husband forever. She won't ever leave. He won't ever leave, whatever. You are putting a block into your experience of them and possibly into their experience of themselves. You're kind of like hindering them, like judgments do. So again, important, when you find yourself doing it, just observe it, understand the enormity and the importance of it. Understand your power that you have in somebody else's life, that you have in your ability to either beat them up or build them up. You have the same power in somebody else's life, and ideally you'll take on that responsibility consciously, not as a weight, not as a burden, not that it is your responsibility to build them up, but because they are someone you love. That is your intention anyway, and you're just going to find healthier ways to do that than the way you might have done it in the past. Ego is it's running in each one of us. And remember, we're going to embrace it as a teaching tool. So ego is going to show up occasionally, and it's going to say to you, you've got to save that person. You've got to point out to them how off track they are, how they don't know what they're doing. It's so clear to you what's healthy and what's right, and you've got to point it out to them, and make sure that you help them get away from, let's just say you do have a friend who's in an unhealthy from your perspective relationship with a partner. Start to see that as their opportunity to stand up and rise up in their power, recognize that they are in an unhealthy relationship and leave that relationship. Here is how you might possibly at the moment be going about it. You might be bagging that partner to them or behind their back. But remember, even if you're saying it behind their back, even if you're saying it in their mind, you are putting that into their energetic basket. They are receiving it on some level. You might be taking opportunities to say to them, even just in subtle ways, you could do better. Have you thought about different things? The way you're going about it might be making them feel less than. You might not be seeing them in their highest light. When you see somebody as a victim, you are doing them a great disservice. That is your ego playing tricks with you, and you're not remembering who they really are. So either you see them as a victim, or your ego is saying they don't know as much as you, they haven't read as much, they haven't done as many courses, they haven't experienced as much, they're not tuned in with their intuition and their wisdom, and you are. So make sure you go and you point out to them, what they can do and how they can do it better, and how they're wrong and how they're off track, and how if they weren't in this relationship their whole life would be better, and if they stopped talking that way, or if they were just more positive, or if they knew about affirmations, and a million things will come to your mind, and ego will be saying to you, tell them, it's your responsibility, you love them, tell them, save them, go and save them. So you're in some way superior. That is another great disservice that you can do to anybody that you love, is to see yourself as superior, to see yourself as more than them. Also to see yourself as less than. But ego will kind of either say to you, they're a victim and they don't know and they can't get out of it and they need your strength and they need you, or, you come on, you know more than them, just, both are misguided, both are doing them a disservice, both are judgments. That this week, let's really focus on releasing a judgment whenever we see somebody as a victim, whenever we think we are more than them, we are wiser than them, we know more than them. So here's the healthy ways. Here's the healthy ways to build up, because they're the ways that you're beating up, even if you're not saying it to them. That's the energetic bricks you're putting in their backpack. That's kind of weighing them down more and more. So here's the way to build up your loved ones. See them as who they truly are. See them in their power. Know that Every opportunity is around them for them to see and come to their own understanding and realization about what is healthy for them, what is right for them. So let's go back to the example of the friend that's in an unhealthy relationship. Her recognizing that, or him recognizing that the unhealthy relationship is not good for him, has to come from him. If it comes from you, he's not actually learning the lesson he's meant to learn, and he'll play it out with the next partner and the next partner, or he'll play it out in the next friendship, or he'll keep playing it out with his parents, or he'll play it out at work. His kind of thing of unworthy